Hi, it's Glenn Dietzel here, editor-in-chief of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine, and for this issue of our cover story featured profile is Jon Ferrara, and I've got Jon here today. I'm going to interview him for a few moments here, and Jon is the CEO of Nimble.com. That company is a next generation intelligent relationship manager. Unbelievable in terms of what Jon's software does today and what he does as a pioneer in so many different aspects. And he is the former co-founder of Goldmine, which is a pioneer of the CRM platform. So without further ado, Jon, welcome to our interview and our Google Hangout today.
Glenn, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share this time with you and your audience. I love getting up on a soapbox and teaching because I truly believe that that's how you grow as a business. The more people you teach to fish, the more they'll figure out you sell fishing poles.
Very good. So let's get to the very first question. Why is developing a personal brand, Jon, so absolutely crucial to entrepreneurial success today?
Well, Glenn, I truly believe that your personal brand plus your professional network is equal to your professional net worth, and that you build your brand on a daily basis by the actions you take and the words that you share, and ultimately this is the way that business has always been done. It's just that today, with all these different channels of communications and the places where you can build and grow that brand, it's become harder and harder to really manage it.
What makes you uniquely qualified to talk about personal branding?
Well, my background is in relationships, and ultimately your personal brand affects your ability to build relationships effectively. And so my background is in pioneering relationship management as we know it with a company called Goldmine. Before Goldmine, there was no SFA or CRM terms. In fact, there was no contact managers. Outlook didn't exist. Salesforce didn't exist. We really pioneered the idea of it, and I'm back with Nimble because I believe that the more digital we get, the more human we need to be, and that relationships power business. People buy from people they like, and they like people who know them, and the best way for you to get to know somebody is through listening and connecting with people that matter, and that your brand and your network are critically important to your business success.
Jon, how does your formula work in terms of building a person's personal brand?
It's really simple, Glenn. You've forgotten more about entrepreneurship than probably most of your audience will ever know in their life. Imagine if you gave that knowledge away on a daily basis. Would your audience buy more magazines or come in for more knowledge, or would they basically not need your products and services? So I truly believe that in today's business world, you do what I call the 5 E's of social business: educate, enchant, engage, embrace, and empower your customer. And you do that by being a trusted advisor, by giving your knowledge away. Imagine that your office is a boat on the social river, and that on a daily basis you're dropping fishing lures into the water in order to inspire and educate others about the promise of your services. So you're not going to tell people how great you are or your products are. You're going to teach them how they could be great, because people buy a better version of themselves. So the formula works like this: give away knowledge that empowers your customers to grow. Teach. So you every morning read information about your industry, your products and your services. Share that knowledge. Don't talk about your products. Talk about how people can be great. Then what happens is the people who are interested in growing and that you inspire will bite on that content, and you reel them in, and you establish a connection, a relationship with them, where over time you're staying top of mind with them because you're teaching them. When they do make a buying decision for your products or services, they will think of you and bring their friends because you've been their thought leader and trusted advisor over their new buyer journey. So in the old days of selling, we used to give our sales reps marketing material, and they would go out and bag and tag customers. Now customers don't listen to our marketing. They don't want to talk to salespeople. They're having conversations amongst themselves about what they're going to buy, and you need to participate in that new buyer journey by being a trusted advisor as opposed to a slick willy sales rep.
I love the concept of being the trusted advisor, especially in a marketplace that it's so overwhelmed, and we all are. What would you say, from your perspective, is the number one mistake that entrepreneurs, business owners make when it comes to building their personal brand?
Well, I think that people who begin to understand the power of content and to try to build thought leadership think that it's all about spewing, yelling at people, especially worst, yelling at them about how great your products or services are. I truly believe, as I said in the beginning of the show, if you teach people to fish, they'll figure out you sell fishing poles. So what you want to do is teach. I'd say a formula that works is about for every 5 teaching things, you might have 2 things that talk about your products or services. But the most important thing is not to just spew. What you need to do is you need to share content and then engage with people effectively in an authentic and relevant way who are connecting with that content. And ideally what you're doing is you're sharing content from other thought leaders in your industry where you're paying relationships forward to these people over time, building your network with these people, because it's more than customers that will help you grow your business. You need to build a sustainable community of influencers, editors, thought leaders, investors, third-party developers, partners that will ultimately help you grow your business. So basically, the motto is don't yell at people. What you need to do is be a trusted advisor. You need to teach, and especially you need to listen and engage in an authentic and relevant way.
You know, John, you are definitely a thought leader, and in an era that I really call the intellectual property era, for the value that you bring to the marketplace, especially your advice. Um, so my question to you next is maybe a little bit of a different type of question, but I'm really intrigued as to what your answer would be here. What's the number one question that, or what's a question that you've never been asked before that you would love for somebody to ask you about building their personal brand?
Well, I think one of the things that people struggle with, especially a business owner, is what's the difference between a personal brand and a company brand? Because ultimately, I think that any business owner wants to build their company brand, but they don't realize that the company brand is built up of the sum of the team members' personal brands, and ultimately that a company brand is built by the promises you make and the experiences you deliver through the customer experience that you deliver to your customers. So personal brands need to be enabled for your key customer-facing team members. That will build the company brand, and then the company brand is ultimately delivered by the experiences you deliver based on the promises you make to customers, and that is the total sum of what will help you to scale your business. And so I think a lot of business people might be afraid of empowering their team members or their employees to build their brands, but they shouldn't, because the more you help your team members grow, the more they'll appreciate you and the business that they're working for.
So if I understand correctly, then Nimble is something to really powerful tool to leverage to help entrepreneurs grow their own personal brand as they're building their company brand.
Absolutely, Glenn. The whole reason that I got back in this business is I felt that I owed the entrepreneurial business marketplace a little bit of payback. And so I'm here to help other people grow. Zig Ziglar said, the more people you can help grow, the more you will grow. And I basically built a next generation relationship tool that's smart, that auto-magically builds customer records for you and then mines them for signals to help you identify people that matter, and then to reach out and build authentic and relevant relationships that over time will result in not only them coming back and buying from you, but for them dragging their friends with them. And it's fun and easy to use.
Well, I can tell you this, some of my most connected friends in business all use your system. So congratulations on that. What would you say, as my final question to you is this, coming from a teaching background, I love the utility of this question. For our viewership right now, what is your recommendation for their very first actionable step that you would recommend to them based on what they've consumed from you right now?
Well, I think that the first thing you do in order to build your brand is to establish your identities in the key places. And I think that everybody thinks that LinkedIn is the place for your business brand, and it certainly is one of the places. But if you want to know me, uh, you can go to my LinkedIn page, and what you'll see is a resume of what I want you to know about me. But if you really want to know me, you need to walk in my digital footprint across all my identities and truly understand who I am, what my values are, and how you might connect to me to build a trusted relationship, which means you need to be building a brand across all the identities that make sense for your community and customers. For me, I have brands established on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, Foursquare, Google+, and others. And in each of those places, I have a photograph that shows my face, my eyes, my smile. It shows a bio about my background of the things I care about. And it's not just business things that I share, it's personal passions, because I believe that we connect on passions first and business later. That we buy and do business with people we like and we trust, and we build that trust through sharing commonalities. So that's why you want to be able to share a little bit of background about the things you like, the things you do. And so establish the identities, that's number one, and then begin to understand where your customers hang out, where they get their trusted information, and begin to listen in those channels and identify what information resonates for them, and to begin to share information in those channels, and then to connect with people. And that starts the cycle of building your brand and growing your network. But remember that the key to relationships is listening. So what you want to do whenever you connect with anybody is do your homework, understand who they are, start the communication with a few questions, and then shut up and listen. And the longer they talk, the more they're going to love you.
Jon Ferrara, thank you so much for your sage advice.
Thank you, Glenn. It was a pleasure having this chat with you.
Perfect.